The night sky lit up with a streak of blue fire. Zara Nixis gripped the controls of her small scout ship as it plummeted toward the blue and green planet below. Warning lights flashed across her dashboard. The ship shook violently. Emergency landing protocols engaged, she muttered to herself, her blue fingers dancing across the control panel. Zara was a Celesti, a species known for their azure skin and telepathic abilities. Her people were being hunted to extinction by the cruel Dravek Empire. As one of the last scouts of the Celesti resistance, she carried vital information about Dravek fleet movements. Information that could save countless lives. Now her mission was in danger as her damaged ship hurtled toward an unknown world. Trees rushed up to meet her. Zara braced for impact. The crash tore through the forest, ripping trees from the ground before the ship finally skidded to a stop in a small clearing. The impact threw Zara against her harness, leaving a gash across her forehead. Blue blood trickled down her face. She took a deep breath and assessed her situation. The ship's engine was ruined. The navigation system was dead. Her universal translator was functioning but needed time to adapt to this planet's languages. "Computer, where am I?" she asked, wiping blood from her eyes. "Planet Earth, Sector 3, North American continent, classified as a pre-interstellar civilization. Approach with caution." Zara sighed. A primitive world. Just her luck. She needed to hide her ship and find help to repair it. The mission timer on her wrist showed 14 Earth days until the Dravek attack. She had to get back to her people before then. She gathered her ceremonial blade, a small quantum communicator, and emergency supplies. With a command, she activated the ship's camouflage field. The vessel shimmered and took on the appearance of the surrounding forest. She stepped out into the cool night air of Earth. Her wounds needed treatment, but first she needed shelter. She stumbled through the trees, following the distant glow of what appeared to be a settlement. Lily Morgan loved the night sky. After a long day working at her uncle's garage, she often drove to her favorite hill outside town to stargaze. Tonight was no different. She sat on the hood of her old truck, thermos of coffee in hand, watching the stars. Then she saw it. A blue streak across the sky followed by a distant crash that shook the ground. It wasn't a meteor. Meteors didn't change direction like that. Curious and concerned, Lily jumped into her truck and drove toward where she thought the object had landed. She parked at the edge of the forest and grabbed her flashlight and first aid kit from behind the seat. Years of fixing cars had taught her to always be prepared for emergencies. She ventured into the trees, following a trail of broken branches. That's when she found her, a woman lying against a tree, clutching her side. But not just any woman. This woman had blue skin that seemed to shimmer in the moonlight. Her eyes, when they opened to look at Lily, glowed with an inner light. Lily froze. Her mind raced with 100 thoughts. Alien. Actual alien. Here. Hurt. The blue woman tried to stand, reaching for something at her hip, but she stumbled and fell back down with a pained gasp. Lily made a decision. Alien or not, someone was hurt. She approached slowly, hands raised to show she meant no harm. "I won't hurt you," she said, knowing her words probably weren't understood. "I want to help." The alien woman stared at her, then nodded slowly. She seemed to understand the intent, if not the words. Lily knelt beside her and opened her first aid kit. The cut on the alien's forehead was leaking blue blood, but it was already clotting. More concerning was the gash on her side. Lily cleaned and bandaged the wounds as best she could. The alien watched her every move but didn't resist. When she finished, Lily pointed to her truck. "I can take you somewhere safe. To rest." After a moment's hesitation, the alien nodded again. Lily helped her to the truck. The alien seemed fascinated by the vehicle, running her fingers over the dashboard once inside. Lily drove carefully back to town. Her mind raced with possibilities. She couldn't take the alien to a hospital. Who knew what they'd do to her? Her apartment was too small and had nosy neighbors. Then she thought of the perfect place. Behind her uncle's garage was an old storage unit. It was clean and had electricity. No one used it anymore. It would be perfect. She pulled up to the garage, relieved to see all the lights were off. Her uncle had gone home hours ago. She helped the alien into the storage unit and turned on the small space heater. "You can stay here," Lily said, gesturing around the room. "I'll bring food and more medical supplies in the morning." The alien sat on the small cot in the corner. She touched her chest and said a word Lily couldn't understand. Then she pointed at Lily questioningly. "Lily," she said, pointing to herself. My name is Lily. The alien tried to repeat it, the sound strange on her tongue. Then she pointed to herself again. Zara Nixis. Lily smiled. It was a start. Nice to meet you, Zara. Get some rest. I'll be back in the morning. As Lily drove home, her mind buzzed with questions. Where had Zara come from? Why was she here? Was she in danger? Were there others? One thing was certain. Lily's life had just changed forever. And somehow she wasn't afraid. She was excited. Back in the storage unit, Zara looked at her mission timer. 14 days to save her people. She needed to repair her ship, but she was injured and stranded on a primitive planet. Yet, against all odds, she had found help. This human Lily had shown her kindness when she needed it most. Perhaps there was hope after all. As she drifted off to sleep, Zara wondered what other surprises this Earth and its people might hold. 3 days passed quickly. Lily brought food, clothes, and medical supplies to Zara each day. The alien's wounds healed faster than any human's would. Her blue skin seemed to knit itself back together before Lily's eyes. On the third morning, when Lily arrived with breakfast, Zara greeted her with words that made sense. Good morning. Lily, my translator has finally adapted to your language. Lily nearly dropped the bag of bagels she was holding. You can speak English now? Zara nodded. My universal translator needed time to process your language patterns. I understand you now and you understand me. Lily sat down across from Zara, buzzing with questions. Where are you from? Why are you here? Are there others like you? Zara's glowing eyes dimmed slightly. I am Celeste, from a world in what you call the Andromeda Cluster. I am a scout for the resistance against the Dravik Empire. She touched a small device on her wrist that displayed strange symbols. I carry information about Dravik fleet movements. My people will be attacked in 14 Earth days unless I can warn them. Can't you call them or something? Lily asked. Zara shook her head. My ship is damaged. I need to repair it to send a message or better yet return to my people. She looked at Lily with hope in her eyes. Will you help me? Lily didn't hesitate. Of course I will. Over breakfast, they formed a plan. Zara needed parts to repair her ship, electronic components that weren't available in the storage unit. She would need to venture into town with Lily, but you can't go out looking like... Lily gestured at Zara's blue skin and glowing eyes. Zara smiled. I have a solution. From her small pack of supplies, she took out what looked like a thin bracelet. When she put it on, her appearance shifted slightly. Her skin still had a bluish tint, but it could pass for a human condition. Her eyes no longer glowed as brightly. This helps, but it's not perfect, Zara explained. The device was damaged in the crash. Lily found sunglasses to hide Zara's eyes and a hat to cover her strangely shaped ears. With a scarf wrapped around her neck to hide more of her skin, Zara looked almost human. Strange, but not alien. If anyone asks, you're my cousin visiting from overseas, Lily explained. You have a rare genetic condition that affects your skin. Zara nodded, understanding the need for secrecy. Their first stop was the local diner for lunch. Lily figured it would be a good test run before they went to the electronics store. As they entered, several people looked their way, but most quickly returned to their meals. Let's sit in that booth at the back, Lily whispered, guiding Zara through the diner. They had just received their food when a group of young women walked in. Leading them was Heather Vance, the wealthy daughter of the town's factory owner. Lily groaned inwardly. Heather had bullied Lily throughout high school, and even now, years later, she never missed a chance to make Lily feel small. Heather spotted them immediately. Well, if it isn't Lily Morgan, she said loudly, walking over to their booth. Who's your friend? Lily forced a smile. This is my cousin Zara. She's visiting from overseas. Heather's eyes narrowed as she studied Zara's unusual appearance. What's wrong with your skin? Before Lily could answer, Zara spoke. It's a genetic condition. Nothing contagious, I assure you. Heather's eyebrows shot up. Your accent is strange. Where did you say you were from? I didn't, Zara replied coolly. Heather smirked. Well, aren't you mysterious? She turned to one of her friends and whispered something, but Zara responded as if she'd heard. No, I am not wearing body paint. Heather's mouth fell open. How did you? I didn't say that out loud. Zara realized her mistake. She had responded to Heather's thoughts, not her words. I'm good at reading lips, she said quickly. Heather didn't look convinced, but her friends called her back to their table. She left with one last suspicious glance at Zara. That was close, Lily whispered. Be careful. Heather loves to cause trouble. After lunch, they headed to the town's small electronics store. Zara examined each component carefully, selecting the ones she needed. The store owner watched them curiously. School project? He asked. Lily nodded. Something like that. Outside the store, Lily felt uneasy. I think Heather is following us, she whispered to Zara. Sure enough, Heather's red car drove by slowly. Heather's phone visibly pointed at them through the window. Back at the storage unit, Zara began working on a small device using the components they'd bought. This will help me locate my ship and assess the damage, she explained. As night fell, Zara suddenly froze, the device forgotten in her hands. Her eyes widened with fear. What's wrong? Lily asked. I sense something, Zara whispered. A energy signature I recognize. She picked up her quantum communicator and adjusted some settings. Strange symbols flashed across its screen. No, Zara breathed, her voice filled with dread. Drevik scouts. They've tracked my ship's energy trail to this sector. The aliens hunting your people. They're coming here? Lily's heart raced. Zara nodded grimly. They're coming for me. And by the laws of my people, I should leave immediately. Your planet is primitive and not involved in our war. If I stay, I risk making Earth a target. But your ship isn't fixed yet, Lily protested. Zara's shoulders slumped. I know. I'm trapped between impossible choices. If I stay, I endanger your world. If I can't leave, I cannot warn my people of the coming attack. She looked at Lily with determination. We must work faster. My ship must be repaired before the Drevik find me. How long do we have? Lily asked. Zara checked her communicator again. They will reach Earth's atmosphere in approximately 7 Earth days. Lily took a deep breath. Then we better get to work. As they worked late into the night, neither noticed Heather's car parked down the street, or the camera pointed at the storage unit, recording the faint blue glow that sometimes emanated from within. A week passed as Zara and Lily worked frantically on the ship repairs. Each day they grew closer. During breaks, Zara told Lily about her homeworld with its crystal cities that caught the light of 3 suns. Lily taught Zara about human music and art, playing her favorite songs as they worked. Your world has such beauty in its simplicity, Zara said one evening as they shared a pizza. My people would appreciate your art. Lily smiled. I'd love to see your world someday, but their progress was too slow. The parts from the small electronics store weren't enough for the complex repairs needed. Each night, Zara checked her quantum communicator with growing worry. The Drevik energy signature grew stronger. We need better components, Zara said, frustration clear in her voice. More advanced technology. Lily thought for a moment. The community college has an engineering lab. My friend Sam works there as a lab assistant. She might be able to help us. Can she be trusted? Zara asked. Sam's been my friend since we were kids. If anyone will help without asking too many questions, it's her. The next day, they met Samantha Kelly at the college cafeteria. Sam was tall with curly red hair and glasses. Her eyes widened when she saw Zara, even with the disguise. This is my cousin I told you about, Lily said quickly. Sam nodded, still staring. Nice to meet you. They found a quiet corner to talk. As Lily explained that they needed access to the engineering lab for a special project, Zara's sunglasses slipped down her nose. Sam caught a glimpse of her glowing eyes and gasped. What the? Sam began, but Lily quickly shushed her. Please, Sam. We need your help, but you can't tell anyone. Sam looked from Lily to Zara and back again. What's really going on here? Zara made a decision. She removed her sunglasses completely. I am not human, she said simply. I need help repairing my ship before those who hunt my people find me here. Sam's mouth fell open. After a moment of shocked silence, a grin spread across her face. That is so cool, she whispered. An actual alien? Wait, you have a spaceship? Lily relaxed a little. So you'll help us? Are you kidding? Of course I will. Sam leaned forward eagerly. What kind of components do you need? As Zara listed the materials, Sam nodded with growing excitement. We have most of that in the lab. I can get you in after hours tonight. That evening, the three women met outside the engineering building. Sam used her keycard to let them in, then led them to the lab. "We have 2 hours before security makes their rounds," Sam explained as she unlocked the lab door. Inside, Zara moved quickly from one workstation to another, gathering the components she needed. Her eyes lit up at the sight of the equipment. "Your technology is primitive compared to Celesti science, but these will work," she said, examining a circuit board. Sam watched in fascination as Zara worked, bombarding her with questions about space travel and alien technology. Zara answered patiently, impressed by Sam's quick understanding. They were so focused on their task that they didn't hear the cafeteria door open down the hall. It wasn't until they heard multiple footsteps approaching that they looked up in alarm. "Someone's coming," Lily whispered. They quickly gathered the components into Sam's backpack. But before they could leave, the lab door swung open. Heather Vance stood there with 3 friends and her boyfriend, Nick. "I knew there was something weird about you," Heather said, pointing at Zara. "I've been watching you." "Heather, this isn't what it looks like," Lily began, but Nick cut her off. "Save it. Heather's uncle works for GenCorp Security. She already sent him the video she took of your blue friend here." Zara tensed, her hand moving toward her ceremonial blade hidden under her jacket. "They're on their way," Heather said smugly. "They want to talk to the illegal alien in our town." She laughed at her own joke. "You don't understand what you've done," Zara said, her voice tight with fear. "There are others coming, far more dangerous than me. By exposing me, you've put your entire planet at risk." "Right," Nick scoffed. "Little green men are coming to get us." "They're not green," Zara said seriously, "and they will destroy everything in their path to find me." Heather rolled her eyes. "Let's take this freak show to the cafeteria while we wait for my uncle's team." Nick grabbed Lily's arm roughly. Zara reacted instantly, her eyes flaring bright. Nick suddenly yelped and let go, clutching his head. "What did you do to me?" he shouted. "I suggested you release her," Zara said calmly. "Your mind was receptive." "She's in my head." Nick backed away in horror. "She's some kind of witch or something." Fear and anger replaced the mocking expressions on the group's faces. They surrounded Zara, pushing her back through the hallway and into the cafeteria. Sam tried to intervene, but one of Heather's friends shoved her aside. "Keep your distance from the alien," Heather warned, now genuinely afraid. "My uncle said they might be dangerous." In the cafeteria, Zara tried to remain calm. "Please, I mean no harm to your world. I just need to repair my ship and leave." "Sure you do," Heather sneered, but her voice shook slightly. "You're probably the first wave of an invasion." Zara sighed. "Your Earth entertainment has given you strange ideas about interstellar relations." Nick, still angry about the telepathic encounter, knocked Zara's tray of components from her hands. They scattered across the floor. "Pick them up, alien," he demanded. "Nick, stop it," Lily protested, but Heather's friends held her back. "I said, pick them up," Nick repeated, shoving Zara to her knees. "Eat off the floor like the animal you are." Zara trembled, not with fear but with the effort to control her telepathic abilities. She could easily incapacitate them all, but such an act would violate Celesti ethics. She would not harm these humans, even now. As Zara knelt on the floor surrounded by the scattered components, the cafeteria doors swung open. A woman walked in, tall and confident with short dark hair and eyes that missed nothing. She wore a leather jacket over a button-up shirt and carried a coffee mug. "What's going on here?" she asked, her voice calm but carrying an unmistakable note of authority. "Professor Reed," Sam said with relief. Olivia Liv Reed, the college's physics professor, took in the scene with a quick glance. Her eyes lingered on Zara's blue skin, visible now that her disguise had been partially removed in the struggle. If she was surprised, she didn't show it. "Professor, she's an alien," Heather blurted out. "A real alien. My uncle's team is coming to take her into custody." Liv Reed handed her coffee mug to Sam. "Hold my beer," she said, despite it clearly being coffee. Then she stepped between Zara and her tormentors. "That's enough," she said quietly, but with such command that even Nick took a step back. No one is taking anyone into custody in my building. She reached down and offered her hand to Zara. After a moment's hesitation, Zara took it, allowing the human professor to help her to her feet. Now, Liv said, turning to face the group, someone better explain what's happening here, and it better not involve forcing anyone to eat off the floor. With GenCorp security outside and a Dravex scout ship approaching faster than expected, the situation had become critical. Liv managed to keep Vance and his team at bay with legal arguments and thinly veiled threats about her military connections. But it wouldn't hold them for long. We need to move now, Liv told the group once she returned inside. Zara, what's our timeline? The Dravex ship will reach Earth orbit in approximately 47 hours, Zara replied. Less time than we anticipated. Ella looked up from her work on the beacon. The good news is we've got the decoy signal working. The bad news is we still need to get it to your ship and complete the repairs. And we need to do it without Vance's team following us, Diane added. Trish, ever the strategist, studied a map of the area. We need a diversion, something to draw them away from us while we move the equipment to the crash site. Sam, who had been quiet, suddenly spoke up. I have an idea. She pulled out her phone and made a call. Hey, Chris, it's Sam. Remember that prank we planned for homecoming but never did? I need your help with something similar, tonight, and bring your drone with the light rig. While Sam organized her diversion, the others finalized their plan. Zara's ship was hidden in the forest about 10 miles from town. They would need to transport the modified beacon and repair components there under cover of darkness. The ship still can't achieve interstellar flight, Zara explained, but with these modifications it should reach orbit. From there, I can activate the decoy signal to lead the Dravex away from Earth. But you'd be trapped in orbit with no way to return to your people, Lily pointed out, concerned. Zara nodded solemnly. It is a sacrifice I am willing to make to save both your world and mine. Liv shook her head. There's got to be another way. She turned to Ella. What if we create a remote activation system for the beacon? Something we could trigger from the ground after launching the ship? Ella considered this. It's possible, but someone would still need to pilot the ship into orbit unless... She looked at Zara. Does your ship have any automated flight capabilities? Limited ones, Zara admitted. But not enough for a complex maneuver like this. The ship would need a pilot. A heavy silence fell over the group. I'll do it, Liv said finally. I've been flying experimental aircraft for years. If anyone can pilot that thing into orbit, it's me. Liv, no, Maya protested. That's a one-way trip, Liv smiled grimly. I've been looking for a good way to go out since my last tour. Might as well be saving the planet. Zara studied the human professor with newfound respect. Your bravery honors you, but there may be another option. She hesitated. My people possess technology that allows for temporary consciousness transfer. If you are willing, I could guide you through the piloting while simultaneously operating the decoy systems. The room fell silent again. You mean, you'd be in my head? Liv asked. Not exactly. Our consciousnesses would exist in parallel for a short time. I would not control you, merely guide you. It is intimate but not invasive. Liv considered this for only a moment before nodding. Let's do it. Sam returned with news that her diversion was set. Her friends from the college drama club would create a fake UFO sighting on the other side of town using drones with lights and some creative sound effects. It should keep Vance and his team busy for at least an hour, she explained. That's all we need, Trish said. 1 hour to get to the ship and get it ready for launch. As night fell, they put their plan into action. Sam's diversion worked perfectly. Reports of strange lights and sounds drew Vance's team away from Liv's workshop. Using 2 vehicles, Liv's truck and Maya's SUV, they transported the equipment to the forest where Zara's ship was hidden. When they reached the clearing, Zara deactivated the camouflage field. The sleek scout ship appeared, its hull damaged but still largely intact. The group worked quickly to install the modified beacon and make the necessary repairs for orbital flight. It won't be pretty, Ella warned as she finished the last connections, but it should reach orbit. Zara and Liv prepared for the consciousness link. They sat facing each other in the ship's small cockpit. Are you sure about this? Zara asked one last time. Liv nodded. Let's save the world. Zara placed her hands on either side of Liv's face. A soft blue glow emanated from her fingertips. Liv gasped as the connection formed, her eyes taking on a faint blue glow similar to Zara's. I can feel you, Liv whispered. Your thoughts, your memories, and I yours, Zara replied. Our minds are linked. When you pilot the ship, I will guide your movements while operating the decoy system. Their moment of connection was interrupted by the sound of approaching vehicles. They're coming, Diane called from outside the ship. It's not just GenCorp, Maya added, looking through binoculars. Heather's with them. She must have figured out where we were going. As the team prepared for confrontation, something unexpected happened. A single figure broke away from the approaching vehicles and ran toward them. It was Heather. Wait, she called out, hands raised to show she came alone. I want to help. The group exchanged skeptical glances. Why would you help us now? Lily demanded. Heather looked ashamed. I heard them talking, my uncle and his team. They don't care about protecting anyone. They just want to capture the alien Zara for her technology. They don't believe the threat is real. She took a deep breath. But I do. I saw her fear. It wasn't fake. Zara, still linked to Liv, studied Heather's face. She speaks truth, she said softly. My family has connections, Heather continued. I can create a diversion that will work better than anything you have planned. Trish looked skeptical. What kind of diversion? The kind that only money can buy, Heather replied, pulling out her phone. After a quick call, she looked back at the group. In 5 minutes, there will be reports of an alien craft on the other side of the lake. My father's security team will confirm the sighting. It should buy you enough time. True to her word, within minutes, the GenCorp vehicles changed direction, speeding toward the lake. Heather stayed behind. I want to help, she said simply, to make up for what I did. With GenCorp temporarily diverted, they completed the final preparations. Liv and Zara, their minds still linked, took their positions in the cockpit. The others said their goodbyes, each embracing Liv before stepping back from the ship. We'll monitor from here, Maya promised. And we'll be ready when you come back down, Liv smiled. Keep the lights on. As dawn broke over the horizon, the scout ship's engines roared to life. With Liv's hands on the controls, guided by Zara's knowledge, the ship rose from the clearing. It accelerated upward with surprising speed, quickly becoming a distant speck in the morning sky. In the cockpit, Liv experienced flying like never before. Through her link with Zara, she understood the alien controls instinctively. The ship responded to her touch as if it were an extension of her body. We're approaching orbit, Liv announced, her voice carrying both her own excitement and Zara's focused calm. Through the viewport, they watched as Earth's curve became visible. The blue planet hung suspended against the blackness of space, beautiful and fragile. The Dravek ship, Zara said suddenly, pointing to a dark shape appearing against the stars. It's here. The Dravek vessel was larger than Zara's scout ship, its hull covered in what looked like sharp spines. It moved with predatory purpose, scanning the area. Activating the decoy now, Zara said, her fingers dancing across a control panel. The scout ship's beacon began emitting the false signal, the electronic signature of a Celesti battle fleet. Through the link, Liv could feel Zara's concentration as she fine-tuned the signal to make it as convincing as possible. The Dravek ship paused, then changed course, moving away from Earth toward the false signal. But it wasn't enough. They were still too close to Earth. They're not fully convinced, Zara said. We need to make the decoy more believable. Liv understood immediately what was needed. We need to play bait. Let them see us, then run. Yes, Zara agreed. But the ship's engines are already strained. A high-speed maneuver might cause them to fail. Liv grinned. Then we better make this count. With a skilled pilot's touch, Liv guided the scout ship directly into the Dravek vessel's path, then veered away sharply. The Dravek ship immediately gave chase, now fully convinced that they had found their Celesti target. Liv pushed the engines to their limit, drawing the Dravek ship further from Earth while Zara continued to broadcast the false fleet signal. The scout ship shuddered under the strain. It's working, Zara exclaimed. They're following us in the false signal. They believe a Celesti fleet is gathering beyond your moon. Just as success seemed certain, warning lights flashed across the control panel. The engines were overheating, pushed beyond their damaged capacity. We need to return to Earth now, Zara warned. The engines cannot sustain this speed much longer. Liv nodded, already turning the ship back toward the blue planet below. The Dravek vessel continued following the false signal, now convinced that the scout ship was leading them to the Celesti fleet. They're moving away, Zara confirmed. The deception worked. Earth is safe. As they began their descent, more warning lights flashed. The ship's hull, damaged from the original crash and stressed by the orbital maneuvers, was failing. "We're coming in too hot," Liv said, fighting the controls. "Hang on!" The cafeteria fell silent. Professor Olivia Reed's calm authority seemed to fill the room. Even Nick, who towered over her, took another step back. "She's dangerous," Heather insisted, but her voice had lost its edge. She did something to Nick's mind. Liv's eyes never left Zara's face. She studied the alien with open curiosity rather than fear. "Is that true?" she asked. Zara nodded. "I used a mild telepathic suggestion when he grabbed Lily. I did not harm him." Instead of being shocked, Liv smiled slightly. "Fascinating." She turned to Heather and her friends. "All of you go home now." "But my uncle," Heather began. "Is not here yet," Liv finished for her. "And when he arrives, he can speak with me first." There was something in her tone that brooked no argument. One by one, Heather's friends headed for the door. Nick followed reluctantly. Only Heather remained. "This is bigger than you know, Professor," she said, backing toward the exit. "They'll want to study her. She's not human. Neither is my cat, but I don't let people push him around either," Liv replied dryly. "Go home, Heather." After Heather left, Liv turned back to Zara, Lily, and Sam. "My office now." They followed her down the hallway to a cluttered office filled with books, star charts, and what looked like aircraft parts. Liv closed the door and leaned against her desk. "So," she said calmly, "you're not from around here." Zara straightened her shoulders. "No, I am Celeste from the Andromeda cluster." Liv nodded as if aliens visited her office every day. "And you're in trouble?" "Yes, my ship crashed. I need to repair it before the Dravek scouts find me. If they do, they may mark Earth for purification as a potential Celeste hideout." Liv took this in stride. "How long do we have?" "Less than 4 Earth days now," Zara replied, surprised by the professor's quick acceptance and use of "we." Liv walked to a photo on her wall, a group of women in flight suits standing in front of a fighter jet. "I wasn't always a physics professor," she said, touching the photo. "I flew combat missions for the Air Force. I know a soldier when I see one." She turned back to Zara. "Those are battle scars on your arms. You're fighting a war, aren't you?" Zara nodded. "My people are being hunted to extinction. I carry information about Dravek fleet movements that could save thousands of Celesti lives." Liv made a decision. She picked up her phone and dialed a number. "Maya? It's Liv. Remember that favor you owe me from Kandahar? I'm calling it in. Bring the others." "Yes, all of them. My workshop off Highway 16, 1 hour." She hung up and looked at the 3 women. "Let's go. Who did you call?" Lily asked as they hurried to Liv's truck. "My old squadron," Liv replied. "The best pilots and engineers I've ever known. And the only people I trust with something like this." Liv's workshop turned out to be a converted airplane hangar on the outskirts of town. Inside was a collection of half-finished projects, tools, and what looked like parts of experimental aircraft. "You can speak freely here," Liv told Zara. "No listening devices, no cameras. I sweep for them weekly. Old habits." Within the hour, 4 women arrived in 2 separate vehicles. They entered the hangar with the watchful eyes of people used to danger. "Ladies, meet Zara," Liv said simply. "She's a refugee from another world who needs our help." To their credit, none of the women screamed or ran. They stared at Zara's blue skin and glowing eyes with various expressions of shock. But they stayed. "Well," said a tall black woman with close-cropped hair. "When Liv said it was important, I didn't expect first contact." She stepped forward and offered her hand to Zara. "Maya Washington, communications specialist." One by one, the others introduced themselves. Eleanor L. Cruz, a compact woman with a serious face and quick eyes, was an engineering genius. Diane Cooper, with her muscular build and watchful stance, was a weapons specialist. Patricia Trish Bennett, a freckled woman with a ready smile that didn't quite reach her calculating eyes, was a tactical strategist. "These women saved my life more times than I can count," Liv explained to Zara. "And we're about to return the favor by saving yours." Zara explained her situation fully. The war between the Celesti and the Dravek, the critical intelligence she carried, and the approaching Dravek scout ship that would arrive in less than 4 days. "If they find me here, they will likely deem Earth a potential Celesti hideout and mark it for purification," she finished. Define purification, Trish asked, though her expression suggested she already knew. Orbital bombardment followed by ground forces to eliminate any survivors, Zara said quietly. The room fell silent. And GenCorp security? Liv asked. What happens if they get to you first? From what I understand of your world's power structures, they would likely attempt to extract technology and information from me. They would not believe the threat until it was too late. Ella, who had been examining the components Zara had gathered, looked up. You said your ship can't achieve interstellar flight in its current condition. What about orbital flight? Zara considered this, possibly with the right repairs. But I would still be trapped in this star system. What if we don't need to fix the ship for escape, Diane suggested, but as a decoy instead? Liv caught on immediately. A decoy signal to lead the Dravek away from Earth. It could work, Zara said slowly. My ship's beacon could be modified to emit a false Celesti signature. If we could get it into orbit, that's where we come in, Maya said, gesturing to herself and the other pilots. We may not fly combat missions anymore, but we haven't forgotten how. You understand what you're suggesting? Liv asked her old squadron. Best case scenario, we're facing court-martial for an unsanctioned operation. Worst case, we do nothing and the whole planet gets purified, Trish finished. I like those odds better than the alternative. The women looked at each other, years of shared combat creating an unspoken understanding between them. We're in, Maya said simply, and the others nodded. They began working immediately. Ella and Zara focused on modifying the ship's beacon to create the false Celesti signature. Maya and Liv worked on a plan to transport the ship components to the crash site. Diane and Trish prepared for possible confrontation with GenCorp security. Sam used her access to borrow additional equipment from the college. Lily, knowing her uncle's garage better than anyone, gathered tools they would need for the final repairs. As they worked through the night, Zara observed these humans with growing admiration. They had accepted her story without proof and were risking everything to help her, and in doing so, their own planet. Why? She asked Liv during a brief break. Why are you helping me? Your government would consider this treason. Liv smiled wryly. My government and I have had disagreements before about what constitutes a threat. She glanced at her old squadron, now working together seamlessly as they had in combat. Besides, we've all seen enough war to recognize it. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, Zara finished, having learned the Earth saying from Lily. Something like that, Liv agreed. And speaking of enemies, outside they heard vehicles approaching. Liv checked the security cameras she had installed around the workshop. GenCorp security, she announced. 3 SUVs. Looks like Heather's uncle works fast. What do we do? Sam asked, fear evident in her voice. We stick to the plan, Liv said firmly. Maya, Ellie, keep working. Diane, Trish, with me. Lily, Sam, get Zara to the back room. As Lily led Zara away, the alien touched her arm. I cannot ask you to risk yourselves further. Perhaps I should surrender. Not a chance, Lily said fiercely. We've come too far to give up now. In the main workshop, Liv opened the door to face the GenCorp security team. A dozen men in tactical gear stood behind a man in a suit. Heather's uncle, Graham Vance, Professor Reed, he said smoothly. We have reason to believe you're harboring a person of interest. My workshop is private property, Mr. Vance, Liv replied, equally smooth. Do you have a warrant? National security concerns supersede normal protocols, Vance said, attempting to look past her into the workshop. Funny, I don't see any federal agents with you, Liv observed. Just private contractors, which means you have no legal authority to enter my property. Vance's smile tightened. Professor, this is bigger than you know. We have credible evidence of a non-human entity in the area, an entity that may pose a significant threat to national security. Non-human? Liv laughed. Have you been talking to Heather again? She also once claimed my physics midterm was impossible to pass. She was wrong about that, too. As they argued at the door, Diane and Trish quietly positioned themselves to block any attempt to force entry. Inside, Maya and Elle continued their work, racing against time. In the back room, Zara's quantum communicator suddenly beeped. She checked it, her face paling to a lighter blue. The Dravek ship, she whispered to Lily and Sam. It's entering your solar system ahead of schedule. We now have less than 48 hours.